What is up, everybody? I'm super excited about today's video because I'm joined by my good friend Jacob Herr. Jacob, thank you so much for being a part of this video and for sharing your story with us.
Yeah, thank you, man. I'm so glad to be here. It's gonna be an honor.
So, easy question. Who are you? What do you do?
My name is Jacob Herr, and I am a worship coordinator at Lutheran Church of Hope, specifically at Hope West Des Moines.
Yes.
Yeah.
Incredible worship leader. You got worship videos coming out, and so people should go check those out.
Yeah.
Or just come to Revive on Thursdays, or go to worship and hear you lead worship. I love it. Anytime you lead us in worship, man, it's always incredible. Just your heart, it's super evident, and so thank you for what you do, man.
Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
So ethnically, for you, how do you identify?
I am Hmong, a Hmong American. Yeah.
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 And so, what was it like for you growing up as Hmong?
I mean, it was good. I don't know how to answer that question. Felt like it was pretty normal. I had two great parents that loved me and my three other siblings really well.
Yeah.
I think thinking about it now, I didn't really grow up. I grew up Hmong, but not like to the same standard as my siblings. Mm-hmm. And I think at that time, I'm the youngest sibling of four, and so I think my parents really assimilated and pushed assimilation for me. So even now, like I don't really speak Hmong, but I understand the majority of it, and so yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for you, when was the first time that you were aware of your Asian identity?
Yeah, I was telling this earlier. I really noticed when I was like in kindergarten, and he was a friend of mine, no longer a friend. But he came up to me and he said, "Jacob, look at me. I look like you." And I was like, "What?
Yeah.
I look like that?"
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it was from that moment.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of maybe that's not everyone's first like experience where they become aware of their Asian identity, but I'd be surprised if there wasn't an Asian American out there who hasn't had that kind of experience and stuff. And so, I'm sorry that was your experience, but yeah, I am glad for the way that God made you, the way that God made us, because it helps us be more us, right?
Yeah.
So we'll unpack this some more here in a bit. For you, how have there been ways that you've been able to connect to your heritage?
Through the food, my mom's food, and my mom. So my mom sews, and she's a great cook. So for me, it's like the food and the clothing. And I know that my sister mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
But yeah, so even for like my wedding, Laura and I, my fiance and I's wedding, we're gonna be wearing Hmong traditional outfits.
Oh, that's awesome.
For a portion of it. So
cool. I can't wait for that. That's gonna be awesome and beautiful. Are there more aspects to Hmong culture that you want to experience more fully?
Yeah, I think for me, it's being involved in other Hmong people's lives. And friendships and intimate relationships. Other than my family, I don't really know Hmong people outside of my family really well. And so I think I would really like to get involved in like a Hmong ministry or anything that's Hmong really.
Yeah.
And because it's really hard to find that in Iowa.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are there customs, traditions, or experiences that bring you the most joy?
I don't know. I haven't experienced it, but when I think about it, so my parents, the way they met, they play this game, and it's called ball, which basically you throw a ball to a person that you like, or the person that you fancy, a person they think is pretty or handsome, whatever.
Yeah.
And you guys keep throwing the ball. If you can keep having good conversation, and it's like if the conversation is dull and this person's like a little, no, I'm good. Then you just take the ball with you and you're out and you throw it to the next person. So it's like speed dating in that way. I haven't experienced that, but just thinking about that is really fun, and I feel like I would like to do that. But I am engaged. Whoa, chill. But
You could do it in a friendship
Yeah,
way.
yeah. Like just even to do it with Laura would be hilarious.
Yeah.
You know?
Don't tell her about it. Just toss her a ball. She's like, what do I do this?
Yeah. So I think that would, that's, yeah.
And then you talked about the food. Like, are there distinctions or ways that are more easily identifiable between like Chinese food or Japanese food or Hmong food for you? Like, are there like any Hmong dishes where you're like, people go find a Hmong restaurant and like try this? Like,
so, it's really hard to distinguish.
Yeah.
A lot of Hmong food is like partnership with other cultures.
Yeah.
But I'd say the one thing that comes to my mind, and you won't find this in a restaurant most likely, but you will find it at a Hmong person's home.
Okay.
It's just boiled meat, dude.
All right.
Like a stew.
Yeah.
And there's something that my mom always calls big bone.
Okay.
And so when my mom and dad kill pigs, they'll like keep the femur bones and keep them like whole, and she'll just boil it down and she'll add some bok choy and stuff like that, and it's just good. It's hearty. It's homey. So I feel like to separate it from other Asian cultures' food, it looks bland. It's gray water with bones in it, but it's amazing. So,
Yeah. Oh, I'll have to try that someday.
Yeah.
What's one thing that you wish non-Asian people knew about Asians?
I said it jokingly earlier, but I think it's gonna be my answer. That all Asians aren't the same.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be my answer.
Yeah. No, I think a lot of people just are like, oh, you're Asian. So like it's like, everybody's Chinese or, everyone's Japanese. Some people might be South Korean, but apart from that, they like don't know much about anything else, and so it's just like, oh, you're Chinese, right?
Yeah.
I remember when I was in high school, I haven't thought about this in a while, but I was asked by a kid, they're like, are you Asian or Chinese? And I'm like, that is the dumbest question ever. Yeah, but yeah, like I just think a lot of people like don't understand, and so yeah, I would agree with that for sure.
Yeah.
What's something that you would like to say to other Asian people?
I think embrace being yourself. And that means embrace being your Asian heritage and culture. And that it's okay to be different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you, man. It's always good to hang out with you.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your story and part of your life with us. Thank you for watching. We will see you in the next one.